When you got your visa approval, what was the first thing you thought about? Be honest. For most people, it was money. A better salary, a stronger currency, a bigger bank account, financial security that you could never quite achieve back home. And there is nothing wrong with wanting those things. Money matters, providing for your family matters, building a stable life matters. But somewhere between the airport and your first payslip, something shifted. The pursuit of financial security became the entire point. Every decision filtered through one question: does this pay more? Every sacrifice justified by one goal: I need to earn more. Every late night, every missed birthday, every lonely weekend, all in service of the paycheck. Your life in the UK has become a money making machine, and you are the machine. But what if God did not relocate you to the UK primarily for a bigger paycheck? What if the money was never the main event? What if there is a purpose behind your relocation that your bank account cannot reveal, that your LinkedIn profile cannot capture, and that your family back home cannot see yet? What if the real reason you are here has almost nothing to do with pounds and pence? Today, we are having a conversation that might change how you see your entire life in the UK. Because if you get this wrong, you will spend 20 years chasing money and wake up wealthy but empty. And that is not the life God brought you here for. Welcome to Fumivox. I'm a real person behind this illustrated version of me, and this is my voice. I'll love you to stick around till the very end. I've got a prayer waiting for you. Enjoy the video. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. This is probably the most quoted verse among relocated Christians. It is on phone wallpapers. It is in WhatsApp statuses. It is the verse you claimed when you were waiting for your visa. But most people stop there. They do not read what comes before it. Build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce, marry and have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you prosper. Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 5 to 7. God's plan for the exiles was not just personal prosperity, it was contribution. Seek the peace of the city, pray for it, be a blessing where you are, not just the beneficiary. This changes everything. God did not send Israel to Babylon to get rich. He sent them to Babylon to be faithful, to build, to serve, and to seek the welfare of the place He had sent them. And He promises that when the city prospers, you prosper too. Your prosperity is supposed to be a byproduct of your purpose, not the other way around. Here is what happens when money becomes the sole purpose of your relocation. You work jobs you hate. You took a role because it paid well, not because it aligned with your skills, passions, or calling. 5 years later, you are earning good money, but you are miserable. Sunday night dread. Monday morning anxiety. Living for the weekend. Counting down to holidays. Fantasizing about handing in your notice. You tell yourself, just one more year. Once I save enough, I will do what I really want. But the goalpost keeps moving. The enough number keeps going up. And 1 more year becomes 5 more years becomes, I will do it when I retire. Meanwhile, the thing God actually gifted you to do, the thing that makes you come alive, sits untouched because it does not pay as well. You neglect relationships, you work extra shifts, you take on overtime, you are always busy, your spouse barely sees you. Your children are growing up with a parent who is present in body but absent in spirit. You missed the school play. You were on a call during the birthday dinner. You promised Saturday would be family day, but then work called. Your friendships are shallow because you do not have time to invest in them. You have not had a deep conversation with anyone in months. You are surrounded by people but profoundly lonely. And the worst part is, you justify it all by saying, I am doing this for my family. But your family does not want your money. They want you. You lose your identity. Back home, you were known for who you were, not just what you earned. You were a community leader, a mentor, a creative, a problem solver. People came to you for advice. Your name carried weight in your community. In the UK, you have reduced yourself to a salary figure. When someone asks, how are you doing? You answer with your job title. Your worth has become your wage. Your identity is your income. And when work is not going well, you feel like you are not going well. because there is nothing else holding you together. You forget why you left. The initial motivation might have been money, but if you dig deeper, the real motivation was usually a better life. Better does not just mean wealthier, it means healthier, freer, more purposeful, and more impactful. It means your children have opportunities you did not have. It means you can breathe without the constraints that held you back home. If you're earning more but living less, the relocation has not succeeded. It has just changed the scenery of your struggle. You traded one set of problems for another, and the new problems pay better but cost more in ways that do not show up on a bank statement. I want you to sit with this for a moment. Consider the possibility that your relocation is about something much larger than your finances. Character development. Relocation strips away everything familiar: your status, your comfort zone, your support system. What is left is you. And in that stripped down state, God does his deepest work. The patience you are developing in queues and on customer service lines, the humility you are learning as your qualifications are questioned, the resilience you are building through rejection and starting over, the empathy you are gaining for people who feel invisible and overlooked. These are not accidents, they are formation. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you for something that requires a version of you that has been tested, stretched, and refined. The person you were when you boarded that plane could not handle what God is preparing for you. The person you are becoming can. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James chapter 1, verses 2 to 3. Kingdom impact. God may have placed you in the UK to be a light in your workplace. Your faith, integrity, and work ethic are a testimony in workplaces where those qualities are increasingly rare. The way you treat people, the way you handle pressure, the way you show up with excellence and humility that is ministry. He may have placed you here to serve your local community. Many UK communities are spiritually dry. Church attendance in England is below 5%. Your faith, your warmth, your willingness to build genuine relationships, these are desperately needed. He may have placed you here to influence your church. Diaspora Christians bring a vibrancy, prayer culture, and spiritual depth that enriches UK churches in ways that cannot be measured. Many UK churches are being revitalized by relocated believers. That is not coincidence, that is assignment. And he may have placed you here to bridge two worlds. You understand both your home country and the UK. That bicultural perspective is uniquely valuable for business, ministry, cultural understanding, and the kind of nuanced leadership the world needs more of. Generational repositioning. Your move might not be primarily about you. It might be about positioning your children and grandchildren in a country with free education through university entry level, a universal healthcare system, strong rule of law, and institutional stability, and access to global opportunities. The sacrifice you are making now could set up your family for generations. That is not just a financial strategy, that is a legacy. And legacy is measured in lifetimes, not paychecks. Your grandchildren might never fully understand what it cost you to start over in a foreign country, but they will live in the reality that your sacrifice created. That is purpose that money cannot buy. If money is not the primary measure, what is? Here are some alternative metrics. First, faithfulness over wealth. Am I stewarding what I have wisely, regardless of how much it is? Am I faithful in the small things? Can God trust me with more because of how I handle what I already have? Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke chapter 16, verse 10. Second, fruitfulness over busyness. Am I producing fruit in my relationships, my work, my ministry, and my community? Or am I just busy? Because busyness is not the same as fruitfulness. You can be exhausted and unproductive at the same time. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. John chapter 15, verse 5. Third, peace over performance. Do I have inner peace, or am I constantly anxious about money, status, and what people think? Peace is a sign that you are aligned with God's purpose. Chronic anxiety is often a sign that you are chasing the wrong thing. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. Fourth, impact over income. Am I making a difference in someone's life? Am I mentoring, serving, teaching, or encouraging? Your impact will outlast your income statement. Fifth, contentment over comparison. Can I celebrate what God has given me without comparing it to what He has given someone else? Can I genuinely rejoice when a friend gets promoted, buys a house, or posts a holiday photo without feeling like I am falling behind? I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. Philippians chapter 4 verse 11. This is not about ignoring money. Money matters. Stewardship matters. Providing for your family matters. This is about putting money in its proper place. Money is a tool, not a master. And a tool only has value when it serves the right purpose. First, define your enough. What is the income level at which your needs are met, your family is secure, and you can give generously? For most UK households, this is a specific calculable number. Once you know that number, everything above it is margin for impact, not for lifestyle inflation. Most people never define enough because the culture around them keeps moving the target. The house needs to be bigger, the car needs to be newer, the holiday needs to be further. But when you define your enough, you free yourself from the endless pursuit and create space for purpose. Second, align your work with your calling. If your current job pays well but crushes your soul, start planning a transition. Not a reckless leap, but a strategic pivot. It might take 1 to 2 years, but begin. Start by identifying what energizes you and what you are genuinely good at. Where do your skills, your passions, and the world's needs intersect? Then build skills or qualifications in that direction. The UK has excellent part-time courses, online certifications, and apprenticeship routes for career changes. Network in your area of passion. Attend events, join communities, and let people know you are exploring a shift, and start saving enough to cushion a potential pay cut during transition. This is where good financial management makes purpose possible. You do not have to quit tomorrow, but you do have to start moving. A dream without a plan is just a wish. Third, create space for what matters. Block time for family, schedule rest, volunteer at church, mentor someone younger, join a community group. Start that side project that has been sitting in your head for 3 years. These are not luxuries, they are the very things God brought you to the UK to do. And they will never happen unless you deliberately create space for them in a schedule that is currently consumed by earning. Fourth, invest in eternity. Your ISA, pension, and property are wise earthly investments. But Jesus also said, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. Matthew chapter 6, verse 20. Heavenly treasures are built through generosity, service, discipleship, and love. Make sure your life portfolio includes these. Because on the day you stand before God, He will not ask you for your P60. He will ask you what you did with the life, the gifts, and the opportunities He gave you. Joseph didn't go to Egypt for a pay rise. He was sold into slavery by his brothers. He was falsely accused by his employer's wife. He was forgotten in prison for years. But God was working through every setback, every injustice, every delay. And when the time was right, Joseph stood before Pharaoh not to get rich, but to save nations. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. Your relocation might feel like exile, but God specializes in turning exile into impact. Joseph did not choose Egypt. He was dragged there against his will. And yet, when the time was right, his position in Egypt saved entire nations, including the very family that betrayed him. You did not come to the UK just for money. You came here for a purpose that money alone cannot fulfill. The salary is a provision for the journey. It is not the destination. The question is not how much can I earn? The question is what has God sent me here to do? And until you answer that question honestly, no amount of money will make your life in the UK feel complete. So here is your action step. Set aside 30 minutes this week for a purpose audit. Ask yourself 3 questions and write down your honest answers. 1. Beyond money, what do I believe God's purpose is for me in the UK? 2. If money were no object, what would I spend my time doing? 3. In 10 years, what do I want to be for? Your answers will reveal whether your life is aligned with your purpose or just your paycheck. Lord, forgive me for making money the center of my story. You brought me to the UK for a purpose bigger than my bank account. Open my eyes to see what you see. Align my heart with your plans, not just my financial goals. Help me to be faithful where you've planted me, to serve the city you've placed me in, and to trust that when I seek your kingdom first, everything else will be added. I surrender my ambition to your purpose. Use me here. In Jesus' name, amen. A final thought. Money is a good servant and a terrible master. Make sure you know which one it is in your life, because the life God promised you is not a bigger paycheck. It is a life of purpose, peace, impact, and joy. And that life is available to you right now in this country, in this season, regardless of what your bank balance says. I'm Fumi. This is FumiVox. Let's get fit together. I'll see you in the next one.